My name is Adrian Chu, and I'm CEO founder of Career Agility International. You've probably seen a lot of our other podcasts and video casts already, and you probably have seen and heard me on 1FM 91.3 every Thursday morning with Glenn, Dutchman, and Angel and Sean on their Happy at Work show. So if you just joined us for the first time, welcome on board. For the familiar faces here, I see a lot of them. I want to say hi, good morning. Now, I want to introduce our team to you. And first off the bat, I want to introduce Yen. Yen is our executive director. Yen, say hi.
Hi. How's everyone doing this morning? Are you looking forward to the weekend?
Yes, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I am looking forward to the March holidays coming up as well. School holidays.
Not looking forward to weekends anymore because Alvin and I do a 10K trek every Saturday morning. I'm still getting rid of all the Chinese New Year calories. 10K trek.
Don't tell me about
tomorrow morning.
Don't tell me about calories. Okay, I'm still. You know, when you hit a certain age, it's so easy to put on 2 kilos, but it takes like about 10 times longer to lose the 2 kilos. So don't get me started on that. But today we're going to talk about not losing kilos, but we're talking about gaining jobs. So let's look at something more positive. And I want to say a quick shout out to a lot of alumni whom I see on our Zoom. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, this is also live casted to a large group of Zoom participants here as well. I see a lot of familiar faces and new faces. I want to say hi. So what do we do at Career Agility International? We are a group of very experienced career strategists who will help you to achieve what we call career longevity, which means that how do you stay employed and continue to stay employed until the day you want to retire and stop? And how do you achieve the career happiness and satisfaction, okay, that comes with being able to achieve career success? And you know what? Career success means different things to different people. And what we do is we help you to focus on what is your meaning, what is your definition of career success, and then we help you to go along with it. Because at different points in your career, you know, your career success could be, for instance, making lots of money. But right now at your career success could be more about spending time with the kids. So we want to help you craft and define your own career strategy that's based on what is important and what matters to you. So that's where we are different from other career coaches. Okay, you will see lots of career coaches online, and you can always have a conversation with them. But our approach is not about just landing jobs. Our approach is about having that career fulfillment, and that's how we help our clients, and that's what we love doing. So, quick intro on myself. Besides being the CEO founder of Career Agility International, I started this business 3 years ago. Yen joined us joined in as a partner, as a business partner 2 years ago. And boy, time flies, Yen.
Yeah, man.
2 years, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's been a fun ride, and we've helped a lot of people. My background has been in search, executive search. So I was a C-suite headhunter for over a decade, placing a CEO, CFOs, lots of exciting stuff. And the nice thing about placing CFOs and C-suite people and talking to the clients, who are usually the board of directors, the chairman of the board, because these are very senior, I get to speak to a lot of these individuals, high-powered individuals who have had successful careers. And I was able over the years to extract nuggets from them as to how did they get so successful? How did they become, how did they get to the top of the game, right? And over the years, the nuggets, what we found out was there's always a career strategy. And in 2015, basically, I wrote the book on career strategy, okay? And the book is limited edition. So we've run out of print already, so only a precious few left, okay? So we're gonna auction it off. But no. What we discovered was that, you know, if you want to be successful in your career, you need to have a career strategy. And that's why for myself, you know, I started Career Agility International to help individuals like you to do it. So one of the key career skills which we need to be successful in our career is job hunting, job search. On yesterday's show with Glenn and Flying Dutchman and Angel, I spoke about the illusion of job security. Now, job security is actually something that does not exist because nobody's job secure anymore. Unfortunately, whenever I say that, people do get upset. I get complaint emails. Adrian, you're trying to scare us. Adrian, no, I love my job. My company loves me. Okay, my job here is pretty secure. let me put it this way, even government jobs in the civil service, they're not secure anymore. You have to perform. Okay, so no more lifelong employment, no more iron rice bowl. So you have to always run with a backup plan in play. And it's not good enough to just have a backup plan. It is, you need to have the skills of job hunting. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, shall we? Yen, what are your thoughts about job hunting? Yen has been a headhunter for about 8 years, and she was in career coaching for the past 15, 16 years. I lost track because you're so young. I can't remember.
You just remember that you forgot to introduce me, or you forgot that I haven't yet introduced myself.
Yeah, I know.
Hi everyone. My name is Yen. I've been coaching now this is my 15th year. Prior to that, I headhunted in the mid-market, which means it's I guess it's numerous. So that mid-market would be, I guess, PMETs and executives. I don't want to give a quantum in terms of their salary because that wouldn't be nice. And anyway, so I headhunted for about 8 years. And prior to that, I started my career almost the same time as Adrian. And a bit of trivia, Adrian and I were classmates in university a long time ago. And Adrian's wife and I were classmates in JC a long time ago. So that's interesting piece of trivia. Yeah. Adrian, do you want to start addressing some of these questions? Because we've got a lot of questions in the chat box.
Oh, fantastic. Ken.
Yeah.
Gabby, do you want to ask the question? Do you want to pin? Okay, Gabby, no. So Yen and myself are pin. Okay, fantastic. Great stuff. Okay, let me do the questions, okay? Because I love to do this. Now, somebody asked, Dennis asked, I landed a job in mid-December in a startup firm, okay? And after 4.5 months of joblessness, of looking for a job, and hold on, let me see. And now I'm looking for a new job, okay? So the question is basically, okay, I did not see Dennis's question. That is Dennis's statement. Okay. How do I look for an employer which is a better match for me? Basically, his question is in terms of compensation, in terms of clarity and career development. So basically, he just landed a job in mid-December with a startup firm. That's only like about 3 months ago. Okay. So what I'm gonna say is this: if you landed a job and you find that the role is not quite right for you, for whatever reasons, maybe the hours are bad, maybe the boss is not someone you really want to work with, or the values of the company doesn't really match what you are, what you believe in, okay? It's okay to exit, because if you stay in there for too long, okay, it's miserable, right? We've all had miserable working experiences before. But try your best not to leave without a job in hand, unless the job is really killing you emotionally, physically, or mentally, okay? Or if the boss is abusive, then that's a different story. But what we always recommend is that be selective, but not choosy when you're looking for a job. What we mean is this, people come to us and say, how do I find a job that's got better pay, more in line with what I want to do? My question to them is, what is the better job? What are you looking for? Are you looking for more pay? If that's your biggest thing, then, what sort of roles, what sort of industry, who do I approach to get the jobs like that? Or if maybe I want to do something more exciting, our question to them is, what is more exciting? Is targeting a new market more exciting? Is getting new customers more exciting? So you have to understand what you want before you can go out and get it. So our answer to that is, how do I land a job that's better? The answer to the question is, what is better to you? What do you think, Ian?
So there are many individuals, and I'm just looking at the chat box as well, and there are some similar trains of conversation about suitability and how stressful they feel right now in their current roles because of a variety of things. It's something about coping with a grueling 60 to 90 day plan because it's very lean, but it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? So you have to be in tune with what the market is, what the market needs, but also when you are approaching an opportunity, to investigate and do the due diligence in order to find out as much as possible so that when you do get the job, your eyes are open. You have to be very aware of the expectations, the trials, the patterns of the leaders. If you go in and you're blindsided, right, then, I mean, it takes two hands to clap. So sometimes it is also partially your fault for not doing sufficient due diligence. But we know a lot of people who take on the opportunity or take on the role because they're attracted by the fact that it pays more or they get a better job title. But they forget that a job title doesn't mean anything, or leading a team doesn't necessarily mean anything, because when you get the job, sometimes you're asked to do things that are very stressful and asked to do a bit more. And so there are a lot of questions around that. So if you find that at any point, I'm going back to the original question, if you find at any point that your health is going to be impacted, or that your family relationships are impacted, then come and talk to us, because we'll help you with your exit strategy. Yes, there is a strategy to exit. We'll help you with that. We're going to make sure that the transition is smooth, and perhaps we can help you with a bit of mind setting, a bit of filtering, a bit of managing your workload. Maybe all you need is someone to talk to. So we're there for you if you really want to talk to us some more. And coming back to that was Dennis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another question from Kim. Let me just find it. So the question is, if the role appears to be a little bit junior, should you even consider it as a pivot into a different industry? It's perhaps she used to lead a team, and now the opportunity is an individual contributor one. What would you advise?
The question is why not? But you must see how junior it is, lah. Okay, if it's really entry level, you think, because the practical consideration is the money, right? If you really have 4 kids to feed, 3 cats and 2 dogs, and your Bentley monthly installment needs to be paid, then of course you can't go on something that's lower than what you need, right? So but on the flip side to it is, if it's an industry you really want to break into, okay, and it's a golden opportunity. So for instance, if I give you an example, I would work for free if I could work for someone like Jack Ma, but maybe not Jack Ma, because he's under arrest right now. So no, sorry, I take it back. I don't want to work for Jack Ma right now. If I want to work
wait, can we just say this is speculative? We don't know for sure, and we're on Facebook Live, so you got to be a bit more careful, Adrian.
Okay.
We don't know.
You don't know. Speculation. But if you were to ask me to get a chance to work under someone I really admire, okay, I'll do it for free.
Yeah.
So it's all a balance. It's all a trade-off. Okay, let me share with you a personal example. One of my first career crossroads, I was pivoting from GE Plastics. Okay, I was a business development manager there, and I decided to pivot into headhunting, and it entailed a drastic cut in salary. And in fact, I still remember my starting salary when I started headhunting back in 2003-4-ish was $2,400 as the base. Okay. When I came back home, I told my wife I had quit GE Plastics to go take up that role. My wife dropped everything and went, including the baby. What? Are you serious on that? Are you kidding me? But I told my wife, I said, look, Ping, don't worry. Okay. It's a growing industry. I'll go in. There's a commission base to it. Okay. I will make it back very, very soon. And true enough, within 6 months, I was back to my previous level. Okay. Within the next 18 months, I was super accelerated already. So whether or not you take a role that's smaller or bigger or in another industry, it all depends on your career strategy. And for as long as you're clear on your career strategy, that you say, for instance, my career strategy is I want to break into Bitcoin industry, for instance. I want to break into data analytics. I want to break into something else. Okay. As long as you have clarity on your career strategy, if the move makes sense, financially, pragmatically, go for it. Okay. But then again, as I said, the caveat is you need to be able to have that clarity.
Yeah, continuing on that train, there was another comment about in the years of coaching, did we ever meet individuals who move up, down, sideways? And she's asking because if there's a head of department heading a team for quite a few years, would someone like that move downwards or sideways? Have we seen it? The answer is yes. And at every stage in your career, remember that there is also, it's not just a career, it's also your life, isn't it? So if at some point you decide that you need to take a sabbatical because someone in your family is ill, or there's some other obligation because maybe your spouse got a relocation somewhere. I mean, I'm talking pre-COVID days. So it does happen, and people make those moves. Are we saying they're easy? Sometimes from the outside point of view, it looks like it's very easy because you've seen those individuals and you know who I'm talking about. Just search the recesses of your brain and you realize that, yeah, that guy seems to be landing. And he's such a job hopper, but how is it that he lands all these juicy, lucrative gigs? And you're wondering, how did he do that? And we'll share the secrets with you because everyone is different. Your markets are different. And depending on the domain that you exist, the dynamics are different. Some of the strategies tend to be quite, the strategy sounds easy. Like, I can tell you right now, what's the secret to success? Networking. The thing is, sometimes I hear that, right? It's my pet peeve, right? I say, so easy, just go network. But it's not just, it's not, yeah, it is networking, but then the devil's in the details, isn't it? It's how, right? And so we want to know a little bit more about, how do we then penetrate a specific organization? How do we engage with a specific individual if we know his profile to be something? So we work with our clients on that, and I want to tell you that it is possible. And so if your career feels like a helicopter, sometimes it hovers, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. Each of these are, if you can plan your steps, you are what we call agile. And that's what we work very, very hard towards, the agility to move around.
Very true. In fact, sometimes when we see individuals who have had a very good career trajectory, from HR manager, HR director, HR VP, and then suddenly you see the job title goes back to HR business partner again. It looks bad optics wise, okay, but when you drill down and you get to know the person a lot better, it's what we call a return to roots, because they came to a point where they were managing HR people, HR managers, HR teammates, more than they were managing the business. And they wanted to go back to fundamentals to help the business partner grow the business. So they took a smaller, and it's good. It's all right, because as long as it's part of your strategy, it's okay.
It's not about that either, right? Sometimes when you see a job title, just a seemingly smaller job title doesn't mean that your role is smaller, because you can't quite compare apples to oranges.
True. That's why, but the optics to someone who's not skilled into this, okay, would find it like, hey, there's a downgrade. But exactly to your point as well, no, Yen. Okay, you see, like for instance, manager, HR manager, you have this impression that middle management, but different companies have different titles, correct? HR manager in an American company may not be so senior, but if you talk about Shell, if you talk about those type of European companies, a manager is a manager. Okay, you can in my old company in Shell, you could be a very senior person, okay, but as long as you're not managing a team, if you're an individual contributor, you cannot be called a manager. So suddenly you get a 48-year-old, very senior guy who's run P&Ls, and just because he's in a new role as a consultant, suddenly he's just consumer advisor. And it has this overtone. If you don't know them, you think it's very junior. What we're trying to say is this: if you see a role where the title is not what you want, just go for it anyway and find out, is it a titling challenge? Is it what is the role all about? Okay, so don't think that this is too junior for me or this is too senior for me. Just have the conversation anyway and find out more.
Yep. So another question is, why do headhunters ghost candidates? These individuals notice this happening on several occasions, and is it because the headhunters already know the candidates on a personal basis, or don't know, as the case may be, that's why they're ghosted? Or is it because there are hundreds of candidates for each of these opportunities? The answer is the latter. Sometimes you cannot. I've been on the receiving end when the markets were unforgiving, and I'm talking SARS, bird flu. This is in the early 2000s, right? We had the dot-com bubble burst, and then there was SARS and bird flu, and then September 11th happens. So those were very tough times. And for every advertisement I posted online, I was getting 300 a day on average. which was ridiculous. So there's no way I can humanly go through every single application. My favorite buttons were the shift, arrow, and delete keys. And just to say, we can see the serial applies, we can see the same name.
Especially when you see the emails coming in, the unsolicited one that goes, "Dear recruiter."
Or worse, "Dear John," when I'm not John. And you can tell it's a copy paste or it's an easy apply button somewhere. So that's when the ATS started happening towards the 2010s, right? And then we start having...
Explain ATS.
Applicant tracking systems, artificial filters used to just sieve out keywords and then filter candidates up. And seriously, by the time you apply for an opportunity, there's probably candidates already in the running, and so you're already probably late in the game. And if you came late and I've got a good progress going for the role that I'm working on to place, then I'm unlikely to contact you because I want my candidate to get the job and close it really fast.
So the hard truth is this, okay? If you're being ghosted, chances aren't that good. And let me tell you why. As veteran headhunters, Yen and myself, the prime directive for us is keep good candidates warm always. Okay, and if you are not being kept warm, you're probably a secondary or a backup candidate. But even then, we also do keep backup candidates warm. So when there's a position open, okay, we normally present 3 to 5 candidates normally, and out of the 3 to 5, there's only 1 or 2 that's preferred. And normally it's a toss-up between the two. Okay, it's a death match between the two. They're gonna depends on, and then they gotta again spend time. But even as they're deliberating which of the 1 and 2, the client always tells us, and we always know, keep both warm. Okay. Then there's candidates 3, 4, and 5. 3, maybe we just back up a little bit, just keep in touch. But 4 and 5, and maybe 6 and 7, a lot of times headhunters do not bother to keep them on because it's already not there. And the thing about it is that as a headhunter, I can share with you, it is never pleasant to tell someone they did not make it. Okay, I'm being very honest with you because Adrian is always honest with you, okay? It's not pleasant to tell someone, sorry, you didn't make it. And as a result, a lot of headhunters avoid wanting to make that call, okay? And so that's why you get ghosted. And that's the truth of it. So if you don't get a call back from the headhunter, a lot of times, doesn't mean you don't follow up. You still follow up, say, hey, do you have any update on this? But the truth of it is, you were probably not number 1 or 2.
If you're the main candidate, we're going to be your best friends. We'll be calling you every day. We're going to update you every move, every task, every update. Can we get started on your reference checks? You will know. Yeah. And the way Adrian
you will feel the love.
And the way you were saying it is like beauty parade, guys. Seriously, there are 70 contestants. There are 15 semi-finalists, 5 finalists, but really only 1 winner. And then the runner-up. And I think it's a tough place to be if you're a runner-up.
And I must say that, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this.
Careful.
Careful. Okay, by recruiters and headhunters alike. They don't build them like they used to. Headhunters and recruiters. In the old days, we used to be a lot more personal.
But Adrian, you sound so old.
Sounds so old, right? Uncle Adrian said.
Back in my time, in the old days.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in those days, it's not that in those days, but now because of the speed and the pace, and because of LinkedIn and everything, and so they're fighting for time and they're fighting for projects. These recruiters. Okay, therefore they don't really have time to develop their personal bond. And as a result, they don't. So I'll give you an example. For myself, also because I used to do very senior roles. 1, I present 5, 1 and 2, hot. Number 3, keep warm. 4 and 5, probably not going to make it. I will make it a point to call them up to inform them that, look, there was not a good match. They like your profile, but it was not a good match. And one of the things to share with you, which made me different as a headhunter from a lot of other headhunters, is that when I have to make that rejection call, okay, one thing I've learned is I never make the rejection call on a Friday to the candidates. Why? Because don't spoil their weekend. Even though the client tells me on a Thursday, I will just call them out on the following Monday and say, look, it didn't work out. Because it's just sad. Okay. So But at least I do inform them rather than leave them hanging. Okay, so bottom line is this. Do follow up. Doesn't mean that all is gone, okay? But also remember this. If you go for an interview and you don't get picked, it does not mean a no. Sometimes it means a not yet, not for now, not for this role. Hang on a while, okay? When something else more relevant comes up, we'll consider you and we'll let you know. That's why it's always important to, after you go for an interview and then you get ghosted and then you, after 1 week, 2 weeks, you're feeling very unhappy. It's like, I can't take any money, right? Dear HR manager, you're very unprofessional. You never really, okay? And then you, don't do that, huh? Don't do that, okay?
No,
because,
don't do that.
yeah.
You never know.
You never know, okay? Always be professional. Thank you for your time. It was a good experience. I learned a lot about your company. Do keep me in mind if you have a similar role opening up. Okay, so remember.
While we're on that topic, from our Facebook listener, viewer, do recruiters call job seekers to apply just to be fillers? I can't speak for other recruiters. I won't. It's going to be just a waste of my time. But if I'm working a specific market and I know that there are certain profiles that are consistently in demand, then I will talk to those individuals as a rule, because at some point down the road, I will place them. So it is about keeping an eye on the skills that my employers are looking for. So just to answer our viewer, do recruiters call you for no reason? The answer is possibly if they are working the market to find out whether or not you have the skill sets that they're looking for, that they expect. Because if they're able to foresee future demand, they can immediately start working on it and be proactive.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes and no.
Yeah. Good answer.
Okay. There's a very good question from one of our viewers. How do we convince hiring managers to take risks on candidates who have rich functional experience, but not necessarily the relevant industry experience? It's a career crossroading, pivoting question.
It's a career crossroading question. We specialize in career crossroading. So the way to do it is, okay, once again, honest, brutal truth warning, okay? If I walk in to a restaurant manager, I see a restaurant manager role, I think I can do it. What the heck? I'm a Peranakan cook. Okay, I can cook. I can do everything at home. All right. I walk in. I can run that restaurant. I not only can I cook, I can run that restaurant because I'm skilled. I go into the restaurant owner and I say, look, I want to be your GM. He's gonna look at me and go, no, I'm not gonna. The reality is, if you want to do a pivot into a different industry, okay, it's gonna be very difficult because the guy doesn't know you enough to take that risk. But if he knows you, okay, if I have a friend who runs a chain of restaurants, and he knows he's been invited to my house before, okay, he's eaten my rendang and everything else, and he loves it, and he knows, that it's capable, then I have a fighting chance. So what we are saying is not that you don't have a fighting chance, therefore don't try it. You need to have that connection. Talk to the person, okay, know the industry, let the industry know you. And besides that, you also need to know what the transferable skills are, and you need to know how to sell yourself into that position, okay? So that's what Yen correctly pointed out, is a career crossroading question. If you're a career crossroader and you want to pivot to something different, what you need is career clarity. Clarity as to what you actually want to do more of. Are you going into that because you think it's hot, but you don't really know much about it? And that's a dangerous move, because we've seen people last year and year before last very, very quickly jump onto the UI, UX bandwagon, okay? Now, you don't see that being touted much already because a lot of people have discovered it was fool's gold, okay? You know what fool's gold is, right? In the old cowboy movies, wow, there's so much gold in the river, the gold in the pen. And then it turns out it's not gold, real gold, it's some other ore, okay? It looks like gold. So a lot of people signed up for the UI, UX conversion courses, and when they graduated, they found that actually the demand for it is so low, or the demand for it is at a very junior level. Then they go. So if you are looking at a mid-career crossroad or pivot, you must have that strategy based on your clarity of what you are, what you want to do. Will the market sustain this need? And that's where we run our career clarity workshops for crossroaders especially, who have found it very, very useful, okay? And we've been doing it for 64 intakes already, okay? So if you're curious, if you're a crossroader, drop Gabby a call, just schedule an appointment. We're happy to have a quick conversation with you.
So the strategy is a little bit more complex because you have to convince hiring managers to take that risk. And if you put yourself in the shoes of the hiring manager, can you imagine that if you do well, great, but what if you don't? And then everyone's going to start shooting this hiring manager for hiring a dud. And that could be career suicide on his part as well. So you have to think about it that way. And you want to make sure that he's got to be very careful about the hiring because he needs to make sure that if anything happens, at least he's ticked all the boxes. So if you sometimes are missing one element, especially in a market as tough as this, it can be very challenging. So we'll work with individuals again very specifically on their again they're very specific, very complex strategies. And so unfortunately we can't answer. I mean, we can give you a nice broad answer, but it may not. I think it's definitely got to be contextualized. And that leads on to the next statement. What advice do we have for people in their 40s or 50s doing a career change to a completely new industry with, again, no prior industry experience? So a quick summary: get the clarity, figure out your competencies, get the vocabulary going, and then there's a very complex networking strategy down there.
It's technical, okay? It's not straightforward. It's technical, right?
Yeah.
It's not as easy as I wake up one morning and I go, hey, I want to pivot. I want to start up a childcare center, or
actually, it is that easy sometimes.
Yeah,
it
but
is that
sustainable,
is
whether or
that,
not it works.
yes, that's
whether
right.
It works, you see, and whether
Yeah,
you
I've
enjoy doing
heard
it.
how many individuals now. I've heard many individuals who start a business, open a cafe.
Yeah.
I mean, or just try something new without too much planning. That can be very very risky.
You must know your why. Okay, so last month, Yen and I spoke with a person who pivoted from corporate to charity, voluntary welfare organization. Okay, she's been there for about 4 to 5 years. And what she shared with us was very enlightening. She said, if you want to move from corporate to a charitable organization, charity, it's obviously it's a cut in pay. Some people, they join in, after 6 months, they leave, they go back to corporate. And the reason why they have such a temporary stint is because they didn't know their why. For them, I want to work for charity. Maybe I should do some social work, social good. But what's their why? Their why, are you driven by the desire to help people, or is it just an escape? Maybe I should just try this. And she said that a lot of times it's an escape and you don't know the why. And it's not wrong to make a detour like that, but you could have saved yourself a lot of agony and stress, okay, so to speak, if you had the clarity to understand the why and the how, and should you do it.
Yeah. And I will add to that, it's also enough research. You have to research because everyone thinks, oh, I'll join a VWO and it's going to be easy. No, it's not. It's
and likewise, likewise, we have clients from MNCs, very, very established multinational companies, and you say, maybe I should join an SME.
Yeah.
Or worse, okay, maybe I should join I should do a startup, okay, and I should start a business. And we've always heard the horror stories of people who try to pivot towards the government service, and it's a totally different culture. It doesn't work, right? And you're not prepared for it. So how then do you mitigate those risks? Talk to us, and we're able to show you the nuances. Okay, so that's what we help you to smooth out the bumps.
There's a comment from Bart in the same point. Be aware about the culture. It's not just about the compensation. The culture it's drastically different than what you're used to.
And I always say this, okay, to my headhunting candidates and to our career clarity clients as well. Sometimes be careful what you wish for, because you might actually get it. Okay, and then you go like, oh man, I want to manage this huge portfolio, one day. And then when you get it, it's like, I'm drowning, help me. Okay. So you have to know what you're getting.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to pick a question from your jar?
I have a question. Somebody mentioned that it's easy. You say that you can do land a job can you land a job in 60 days or less? Sounds easier than it is. Is it true that you can actually land a job in 60 days or less? Okay. And I'm not referring to blue collar F&B retail job like McDonald's.
$6.80 an hour.
$6.80 an hour. good work experience, and you get unlimited free fries. Did
Yes,
you-
1 meal a day, I think.
No lah. It depends on
One
whether or not
shift.
anyone. It depends on whether anyone's looking. Your unlimited free fries. So it's like, but the point is, the answer is to can I land a job in 60 days or less? The answer is why not? Okay, why not?
Can.
Because if you are in a space that is in very hot demand, okay, you can land a job within the next 2 weeks. If you are very clear on what you want, who's going to hire you, if you're very good in terms of being able to sell yourself, in terms of the networking, in terms of the interview, yes, the answer is yes, you can. Why? We don't see why you can't land a job within 60 days. Okay. But realistically speaking, we are looking at about 3 months to 6 months to land a job, depending on how senior you are or how niche your position is. So there is a whole chain of questions, but the answer is do not be discouraged. Okay, you can land something quickly, but the big question once again is this: will landing a job solve your problem, your career challenge right now? If you're unhappy with your boss, does it mean that landing a job will get you out of your career misery? The answer is sometimes not. So you need to know what's really bugging you, what you really want, and therefore, once again, we go on a career clarity. You need to understand what's a career clarity. Okay.
Time to pick a question out of the jar.
Question out of the jar. Question out of the jar.
We
Okay.
haven't gotten to it, and
Anyone
we
else
only
has
have 15
questions?
minutes left.
Okay. Question out of the jar. Let's see.
Let's see if I get my favorite pet peeve question.
This
The
is
one
fun.
on age. Okay.
No, this is fun. What's the worst thing that has ever happened to an interviewee that you've coached?
Yes, that I've coached. No, this happened to an interviewer I was trying to place in my role, my client's role versus another organization. And this individual was asked to do a case study. After the case study, he was asked to do a role play presentation. And so it's an interview / role play / presentation. And so at some point in the middle of his presentation, all 5 interviewer role players staged a walkout.
Staged what? Staged a walkout. Or they really
walkout.
walked out or staged a walkout?
They staged the walkout, as in they stood up and the guy said, as I represent the union, I don't agree with your recommendation. I'm staging a walkout, and they all trooped out. And I asked the individual, gosh, I use a bad word, and then I said, what did you do? and the guy said, I don't know. I didn't know to stay in character or to break character and go out and go, hey, what's going on, right? I mean, if you don't agree with my assessment, that does not mean that you're going to take such drastic action. So then he said he waited. He just decided to wait. And if you've ever waited in front of the microwave oven, 5 minutes, it was like
5 hours. It's like watching paint dry.
Forever. And I said, then what happened? He said they trooped back in and said, we didn't like your answer. We want to know what would you have done differently. They offered him the job. He did not take it.
Yes.
So I got the commission on that anyway. So
did he take the job? He did not take it.
No, he didn't. It was a fairly senior position. It's not super senior, but we're talking 6 digits. Okay. So it's not a junior role, but I thought the treatment sort of bad.
I think it's a warning signal. Maybe one of our future episodes we can talk about warning signals to watch out for before you join a company. Okay, this will be a definite no-no where if they're treating you like this. Okay,
can you imagine?
What are you gonna do? It's just not respectful. I mean, it's like childish even. It's like throwing a tantrum during an interview. So
yeah, or putting your feet up on the table and go, right, you say you're a good salesman, sell me this pen, right? It's throwing you right under the bus. I think that you never know, but I've got lots of horror stories. I've got another one.
Let me tell you my horror story. Okay, we're running out of time. I'll tell you my horror story. So I had this candidate, he was in a rush. He was driving to the client's place for an interview, and the car park was full. Okay, and the car park was full. So
the what was full?
The car park was full. Sorry.
The car park.
So he was trying to park his car. Okay. And then there was a slot open. Okay. He went to rush in. There was another car that was trying to come in. He honked that guy, you know. He said, this is mine, okay? I'm going up. And the guy, he had a exchange of hand gestures. Okay. Got in the car, zipped off. Guess who the interviewer was?
The guy who
was the guy who stole a lot from. The interviewer was late. Then he was at first going like, wow, you know. what type of company is this that will interviewer will be late? And the interviewer came in very apologetic that sorry I'm late because someone stole my car park lot. Wait a minute.
Oh no.
So true story. So moral of the story,
Oh no.
if you're going for an interview, okay, be nice. Be
To
nice.
everyone.
And there's another story also, the because they was in a rush. She was in a rush. This was a lady. She was in a rush.
Wait, okay. Adrian's frozen.
The building. The lift door was
Gabby,
closing. Someone was rushing to come in. She just didn't bother to.
Adrian, you're frozen. Adrian, you're frozen. Yes. CK just said the Wi-Fi is not robust enough.
Sorry, got disconnected, but reconnected again. Everyone on? Okay, sorry about that.
CK said, get a better
anyway,
router.
So anyway, the lift door closed and she didn't open the lift door for the person, and the person was the HR manager. Okay, so moral, sorry, always be nice to whoever and whatever when you're going for an interview. Okay, you never know. So yeah.
So there was some comments. I think they missed the story. It was really about being nice to everyone you see on the way into the venue.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, we got about 10 minutes left. I think this has been quite fun. A lot of good questions. We got a lot of questions as well in the jar of questions. Okay. Nice personal stories to share as well. But if you are in a job search mode, or even if you're not in a job search mode, you have to be prepared, okay, to know how to engage, how to hunt for the job when the time. We are always asked is when's the best time to look for a job? And the answer is, why are we?
Yeah. Okay, that was embarrassing.
Hello, sorry, that is frozen. It's okay. So anyway, we always ask the question: when's the best time to look for a job? And the answer is, 3 months ago.
And another one, I'm currently very happy in my role. Should I be going for this interview? A headhunter called me. Should I go? Answer is yes. You always want to connect with the market so that you know your value, you know what's going on, you know who's hiring for what, and even if you don't necessarily continue with that opportunity and progress that opportunity, you can always refer individuals, and that's part of giving back. So it's a good strategy. Okay.
Okay, I think we're back on. Okay, sorry. Technical glitch. In fact, what I've done is I'm connecting to my mobile phone now. So the rest of the guys, they can be frozen, but I think you can hear me live. So anyway, the point is this, okay? Even if you're not in job hunting mode, you must be in job hunting mode all the time because you never know when the opportunity comes up. Oprah Winfrey says, luck happens when opportunity meets preparedness. And as a result, if you're not prepared, luck doesn't happen. So always be CV on the ready, LinkedIn on the ready, and know your markets. And that's why we are also launching next week. We're launching a Get Hired Faster Bootcamp. Okay, Get Hired Faster program where we'll teach you how to land a job in a shorter time than you would on your own. Okay, Gabby's gonna send you some materials to have a look at. But basically what it entails is it's a workshop followed by a series of one-on-one and group coaching sessions where we will help you along with your job search. We will provide you with tools, we'll provide you with templates, we will walk with you through your job search process. Okay. So any other questions?
No one's asked the ageism one. Oh wait, one just came in on salary. Salary expectations. If you're asked, should you deflect it for a later stage? What can you say? I guess, is it true that the recruiter will always offer a higher than expected salary should their budget allow. What can be the consequence? I don't know. I'm reading the sentence. Can you see it in the chat box?
No, I can't see quite a chat box. But the question is this.
Okay, let me
What, do
read
I-
it
do I know?
verbatim. Let me read it verbatim.
Okay.
Salary expectation / last drawn salary convo that you try to
Mm.
deflect until later stage. What can be the consequence other than not getting the job? And is it true that recruiters will offer a higher than expected salary should their budget allow? So what's the consequence of trying to deflect the salary question till later? Again, it's how long is a piece of string? It really depends on how you want to manage those conversations and at what stage of the conversation. I mean, if it's exploratory at the beginning stages, early stages, it might be a little bit premature to be discussing money, but they still need to benchmark you. So, it's okay not to answer, but it's also okay to answer. I think you need to decide at what point and how to say it. And we'll work with you individually again on each opportunity or each conversation, or to try to help you with your vocabulary in your speech so that you sound natural answering it. Because one of the challenges with the salary question is that a lot of people feel very awkward, and the awkwardness translates to caginess and as if you don't want to be transparent and open, rather than awkwardness as just sheer awkwardness, because discussing numbers and all that can be very weird. So we'll work with you on that, and whether or not recruiters will offer you something more than what their budget is, we can't answer that. It depends on who loves who more, and whether or not they need you urgently. Maybe they don't need you so much. Maybe they feel that the role has got growth potential. There's so many variables. So it's got to be contextualized. I'm sorry, I can't give you a better answer.
So to add on to what Yen said, okay, once again, cold hard truth from Headhunters, okay. We do encounter people who are very evasive. What's your last round salary? I don't tell you. Can you give me a range? I'm not telling you. So what level are you at? I'm not telling you. Because if I tell you, you try and bargain me down, I'm not going to tell you. What do you think a headhunter would do? After a while, it's like what we do, what our philosophy is this. If you're going to give me so much agony at the upfront of it in terms of salary, imagine if my client loves you, okay, and then it comes to salary negotiation. Wow, I tell you, you're going to be a nightmare to manage and handle. I'd rather just put you aside. So if you want to pay too hard to get, I know there are people who are very evasive, okay? And normally when they're evasive, it's a red flag to me as a headhunter. Why is he being so evasive? Is it because he feels he's underpaid now, therefore he wants to up his salary, so he's not telling you, he doesn't want you to be biased? Or is he so overpaid now that he's so embarrassed by it that he doesn't want to tell you? All these are red flags to us. And we think that, okay, unless you're the only person in the world, you have the cure for cancer, okay? Then yeah, I will have that conversation with you. But if you don't have the cure for cancer, if you're just one of many finance directors, okay, a lot more fish in the market. It's like, imagine interviews and calls like this are like going on a date, okay? Ask them a question. It's like, okay, there's some questions that are taboo, like you can't say like, how old are you, right? But it's like, oh, what are your hobbies? I can't tell you. I don't want you to know. Oh, where do you work?
What do you do for a living?
I can't tell you. I don't tell you because you might be. Okay, Bill, please. Yeah, something's funny, right? So don't piss the headhunter off. They sometimes just want to know the information, a rough information to know whether or not you're senior or too junior. Okay, it's okay. Don't make things hard, and because you end up pissing the headhunter off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're out of time.
We're out of time. So I just wanted to do a quick one, quick pitch for you. Okay, have a look. So we have this Get Hired Faster bootcamp program which we run. Okay, it's basically over 12 hours of coaching, and where we have workshops and we have one-on-one coachings, and it has proven to be very effective in our past 3 to 4 years we've been running it. Yen has been effectively running it for the past 14 years in her career, in her experience as a career coach. Okay, as a career strategist. So this is what we do. Gabby will send you more information about it. Okay, it's not very expensive if you think about it. Okay, we'll provide you with templates, we'll provide you with steps and everything. But the whole idea is that if you are keen to land a job faster, and if you value your time, because if you even get a job 1 week or 2 weeks faster through us, okay, the ROI is really paid for already, because your salary, you divide by 4, divide by 2. So it's way over that. So let us help you to land a job faster. Let us accompany you on the journey for the job search, which can be quite tedious, which can be quite harrowing sometimes. Okay, so feel free to reach out to us if you have any job search questions, or if you are a career crossroader trying to figure out what to do next. Always happy to help. So we are coming to the end of the program, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to email us or join us next week when we have this again. And in the meantime,
maybe we should have a segment on horror stories, because that was fun.
We should, horror stories.
Horror stories, but then people won't tune in for horror stories. Or maybe they might.
We want to thank you for your time today. And if you have any other questions, as I said, feel free to drop us an email.
Have a great weekend.
Do find out more about our programs, and we'd love to hear from you. Have a great weekend and enjoy your
my 10K walk.
Enjoy a 10K walk, okay? Turn on your GPS, don't get lost. Okay, Yen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Drop us an email at info@careeragility.org, and have a great one. Bye.
Bye.